Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL this season, you know that winning on the road is one of the toughest challenges in the league. It's almost never easy, no matter how good your team is. Even when you're playing a less competitive squad, the games tend to be razor-thin, tight battles that test your resilience and mental toughness. And that's exactly what makes Week 2 for the Seattle Seahawks so interesting and so crucial. They're heading into a game that's not just about a regular season win, it's about so much more. They're facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that's been revitalized offensively, especially with their new quarterback, and the game carries a lot of emotional weight, especially for one key player. Let's talk about the big story here, DK Metcalf. We all know he's one of the most explosive receivers in the league, someone who can change the game with a single play, and he's facing his former team this week. Now, for those of you who might not remember, DK Metcalf was traded away from Seattle after some tense negotiations, and that's a story that's still fresh for many fans. This game isn't just another game in the schedule for him, it's a chance to show what he can do against the team that traded him away. But here's the twist. While Metcalf might see this as a revenge game, the reality is, for Seattle, it's a different story. They're the ones who believed in him, drafted him, nurtured his talent, and then let him go. So even if Metcalf is out there with something to prove, the Seahawks are probably feeling more motivated to show that they made the right decision in moving forward without him. Now, let's dive into the current state of the Seahawks heading into this pivotal matchup. The team has been dealing with some significant injuries, which could impact their game plan and overall performance. You see, in Week 2, they're going to be missing some key players, and that's a tough pill to swallow early in the season. Rookie safety Nick Imanwari is already out with an ankle injury. That's a blow to the secondary, especially considering how important safeties are in today's NFL, supporting the run, covering tight ends, and providing that extra layer of defense. But it's not just Imanwari. Safety Julian Love, who's been a steady presence, missed practice with a groin injury earlier this week. The team is hopeful he'll be ready to go, but his status remains uncertain. Meanwhile, cornerback Devin Witherspoon, who's been one of the bright spots of the Seahawks' defense, is listed as doubtful due to a knee injury suffered late in Week 1. That's a big concern because Witherspoon is a versatile corner who can line up in different spots, blitz, and even drop back into coverage to make plays. If he's unable to play, it will limit what Seattle can do defensively and could give the Steelers an advantage through their passing game. The injury report shows that Witherspoon's status is doubtful, which means he's probably not going to be out there. That leaves the Seahawks potentially vulnerable in the secondary, especially against a Steelers offense that, while still finding its rhythm, has dangerous weapons and the ability to exploit weaknesses. But the good news is that some key players are expected to be ready. Jarran Reed, the veteran defensive tackle, is listed as not practicing with a back problem, but is expected to be available. Reed's experience and presence in the middle of the line are crucial for Seattle's run defense and pass rush. His ability to clog running lanes and pressure the quarterback is vital, especially when facing a team like Pittsburgh that has a solid offensive line. Alongside him, Uchenna Nwasu, the team's edge rusher, appears to be fully healthy and ready to contribute. Nwasu has been a consistent performer, bringing pressure off the edge and disrupting plays in the backfield. Now, let's not forget that sometimes players are held out of practice not because of serious injury, but to give them a rest, especially early in the season with the grind of the NFL schedule. That's the case for some of these guys, and it's encouraging to see Julian Love, Jarran Reed, and Nwasu all appear ready to play. The Seahawks, despite their injuries, are optimistic about their key contributors being out there. The coaching staff has managed the week's practices carefully, and it seems like they're preparing to put their best foot forward against the Steelers. Switching gears a little, let's analyze what this game might mean for the Seahawks this season. They're coming off a promising start, but injuries always add an element of unpredictability. The NFC West has been competitive in recent years, with teams like the 49ers and Rams always in the mix. This game against the Steelers is a great opportunity to establish momentum early, especially on the road. It's a test of their resilience, their depth, and their ability to adapt when facing adversity. The defense, led by players like Reed and Nwasu, will need to step up big time. The secondary, especially without Witherspoon, will have to be disciplined to contain the Steelers' offense. Offensively, the Seahawks have been leaning on their passing attack, with Geno Smith leading the charge. The connection between Geno and DK Metcalf was one of the highlights of their offense last season, and even with some injuries on the line and in the secondary, Seattle's offensive staff will look to keep that synergy alive. Metcalf's speed and physicality make him a constant threat, and if the offensive line can give Geno enough time, the wideout can make big plays downfield. But against a disciplined Steelers defense, especially if they're able to generate pressure with their front four, the Seahawks will need to be smart, patient, and creative to move the chains. From a historical perspective, this game carries weight for the Seahawks. They've always been a team that values resilience and fighting spirit, and games like these test their character. The coaching staff, led by Pete Carroll, has built a culture of never giving up and always competing, no matter the odds. This game against Pittsburgh could be a defining moment early in the season, setting the tone for how they'll handle adversity throughout the year. Looking ahead, the season is long, and there's still a lot to prove. But a win here would be huge, an important statement that they can compete not just in their division but on the national stage. The NFC West is shaping up to be even more competitive than last year, and every game is critical. The Seahawks have the talent, the coaching, and the drive. They just need to stay healthy and execute their game plan effectively. And of course, as fans, we're all eager to see how this unfolds. Will DK Metcalf get that revenge, or will Seattle's defense step up and make a statement despite the injuries? The game will be intense, no doubt, and the stakes are high. It's early, but in the NFL, early wins can set the tone for a playoff push, and every single play matters. So as we gear up for this matchup, remember, this isn't just about one game. It's about the fight, the passion, and the relentless pursuit of greatness that defines the Seattle Seahawks. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now, folks, as we get closer to kickoff, I want to emphasize how critical this game is for Seattle's season. Every win counts, especially on the road against a motivated Steelers team that's looking to make a statement after a solid offseason. The Seahawks, despite their injury setbacks, have shown resilience and depth. Players like Julian Love, if he's able to play, and Jarran Reed, who's been a force in the trenches, will be vital. And if Devon Witherspoon can't go, the secondary will need to rely on other players stepping up and playing disciplined football. The coaching staff will have to adjust their game plan accordingly to maximize their strengths and minimize weaknesses. Looking at the bigger picture, this game also serves as a test for Geno Smith and the offensive unit. Can Geno find those quick throws and exploit the Steelers' secondary? Can DK Metcalf, even if he's facing extra attention, create separation and make those game-changing plays? These are questions that will be answered on Sunday, but the Seahawks have shown they're capable of high-powered offense when everything clicks. The key is execution and staying disciplined, especially against a team that's eager to bounce back from their own setbacks. And let's not forget about the defensive side. Seattle's defense has been a work in progress, but their ability to generate pressure and force turnovers will be crucial. With Jarran Reed and Uchenna Nwasu leading the charge, they have the talent to disrupt Pittsburgh's rhythm. The secondary, even with some injuries, needs to be disciplined in coverage and aggressive when opportunities arise. The game could come down to who wins those critical third-down battles, forces turnovers, and controls the tempo of the game. This matchup is also about pride and resilience. The Seahawks have been known for their never-say-die attitude, and even with some key injuries, they will fight to the last whistle. The players will need to embrace that mindset, play smart, and capitalize on every opportunity. The fans, of course, will be loud and proud, creating that home field advantage that Seattle is famous for, even when the team is on the road. That energy, that passion, is what fuels this team, and it will be on full display this weekend. In the end, what's at stake isn't just a victory or loss. It's about setting the tone for the rest of the season. A win here can boost confidence, improve team chemistry, and send a message to the entire league that the Seahawks are ready to contend. It's about proving that even with adversity, they can overcome, adapt, and come out on top. So as we count down to kickoff, remember that every play, every yard, every tackle will matter. And we as fans need to be behind our team, supporting them every step of the way. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this matchup? Are you confident the Seahawks can overcome the injuries and get a big road win? Do you think DK Metcalf will have a revenge game, or will the Seahawks defense step up despite the missing pieces? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we're here to bring you every detail, every play, and every moment of it. Thanks for sticking with us, and let's go Seahawks!